There he is. There's the young man, just getting himself all set up here this morning. What's going on, C. Marty? Getting the headphones all set up on his head. He's just figuring stuff out. First thing here this morning on a Wednesday. Big show coming up in the lab today. Brooke Sweedar. Marty, she's bringing all her brookies today, man. Yeah, they're on their way. I can't hear you, pal. No audio from Marty here today. We'll get that sorted out in a second here. So big show. We got the accountability check-in coming up the 15-minute mark. Marty? Nope. I got no audio from you yet today, pal. We get Nope. There you are. I got that. There.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Is that how it's going to start?
Yeah, that's how we started today.
Yes, I can hear you now, Mr. Christopher Martin.
Got your attention though, man, you know.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, well, you go. How are you, pal?
I'm good, man.
I'm good. Hey, big show today. We got it might be the biggest show this year.
Let's go. Let's get it. I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
So we have today.
Brooke Swaddar joining us here. It's packed today. Yeah, we got lots happening. We got Sarvina's joining us first thing in the morning, Marty.
Hey, I ate breakfast.
There you go.
Sarvina's slacking.
We're going to talk breakfast in a couple moments. Actually, we're going to talk. So we put the poll out whether breakfast was important to folks. We're going to put the poll. Yeah, I asked the question yesterday whether breakfast is an important thing for a nation to get a part of, and we're going to. I talk about that in a few moments. Brooke Swaddar is going to join us in a number of moments, Marty, to talk about what are the systems you have in place to be successful? Business systems, human system, personal systems. Like, we all have systems, but what's the systems that we put in place to make ourselves successful throughout the day, throughout the week, business, personal life? Brooke has been going through some transitions and, got to know her on LinkedIn, getting to know her on LinkedIn, and might be a little bit busy. I suspect her life is a little hectic. So she's going to come in today to talk about the systems she uses to have success. Sarvina pops in, Marty. Oh, she's making apologies, pal.
Yeah, slacking. I told you, slacking.
Apologies for missing 2 episodes.
Welcome back, Sarvina.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, we'll give her this. That's it. And it looks like we have no Future yet here this morning. Future, if you're joining in, man, we're missing you. We are missing you coming in from tomorrow. I don't know what stocks.
He sent me a message. He said he's sick. He said he wasn't feeling well.
Oh. And
yeah.
The point is,
nope.
I'm just telling you what he said.
Hey, Marty, I think we got a delay on your connection, pal. Do you want to do a reset on your connection there? I got a few seconds delay on you here, and you're coming in a little bit delayed. So if you want to maybe exit and come back in, that would be spectacular. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna talk about the poll that I ran yesterday. So if you want to step out for a quick moment, and do maybe a refresh on your browser, that would be exceptional. So Brooke Sweedar coming up in a couple moments. We got the accountability check-in on the 50-minute mark. We got a surprise creator spotlight coming up today on the 41-minute mark. And of course, C. Marty's got his fitness tip of the day. But Nation, yesterday we talked about breakfast. And while we're waiting for Marty, I want to run something here quickly with you guys. We did a poll yesterday, and it was, is breakfast the most important meal of your day? As we know, I was doing a fast yesterday. I started my fast after Father's Day, did a big old crushed a bunch of calories, and then, started a fast, which I did end last night. I'm going to talk about with Marty and Brooke here in a few moments, but I did end it last night, came out of my fast. But before we did that, achieved a few big successful things in my life. But we had a poll yesterday. Is breakfast the most important meal of the day? And see, Marty, I don't know if you saw that poll or not, but we ran the poll yesterday and we asked the question whether breakfast is the most important part of the day. And overwhelmingly not. 44% said yes, Marty. 22% said no. And 33% of our respondents said they didn't care. They don't eat breakfast. What do you think of that?
I'm not surprised by that. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people skip breakfast. A lot of people are focused on getting to their day, getting stuff done.
Yeah.
especially here in North America. You know, we're serious about business. We're serious about getting to the money, getting to the bag, and then especially if you got kids, you got to get your kids to school. Your spouse, you got to work things out. So I think I'm not surprised by that. I feel like a lot of people might just get up and go. They might go grab their coffee. You know, might hit Dunkin' Donuts, might hit Starbucks. So might hit McDonald's, Krispy Kreme.
We're gonna bring Brooke in about. Hey, we talked about McDonald's and Krispy Kreme yesterday, and Brooke Swaddar, we're lining you up here in about 2 minutes. I got a couple clips I want to run from the show yesterday. So we talked about McDonald's and Krispy Kreme. Nation, if you missed this yesterday, I invite you to check this out.
Since we're talking about breakfast, I got to talk about this. I don't want to go on a crazy rant because I know we got to move on with the show. But did you see in 2026 McDonald's and Krispy Kreme are merging?
No.
That's going to be a ridiculous breakfast for a lot of Americans. I don't know if it's happening in Canada too, but come on, man. Talk about crashing and no energy levels. Come on, man.
I can't imagine a Krispy Kreme McDonald's merger. Is that so? It's happening, Marty. You talked about it yesterday, and it looks like McDonald's and Krispy Kreme are doing a partnership where they're going to put some food together. So we're talking breakfast right now before we bring Brooke in, and you have a quick comment on that, Mr. Marty C. Fit.
Yeah, apparently Krispy Kreme, a lot of the standalone stores are closing down. So the one up the street from my house is shut down. That's what one of my clients told me after they saw my clip. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So watch where you're walking with Krispy Kreme and McDonald's. Yes, Lauren Sarvina is back on the show. And then yesterday, before I broke my fast, you guys, I want to show you what I did yesterday. I did a quick little thing, Marty. I had an ambition yesterday. I fasted. I had a goal, and this is what happened.
So this note's for you, not for me. I just did something I've never done before, and I'm encouraging you to pause today, and maybe you can do the same. I just ran a 5K in 30 minutes. I just started running 2 months ago. I don't run. Goal, check. And I did it while being fasted. Some odd 30 hours since Father's Day when I started my fast. What's the point? The point is you can do anything your mind wants to do. Have a good one, nation. What are you gonna do today that you don't want to do? What are you gonna do to move the needle? Have a good one.
Marty, you can do anything your mind wants to put yourself to. Anything you want to do, you can do it, fasted or not. And that was the message that I had yesterday when I got on that treadmill. And dude, I've never run for 30 minutes in my entire life. I've never ran for freaking 10 minutes in my entire life. I ran for 30 minutes straight.
I'm proud of you.
Not too bad, eh?
Not bad at all. I'm super proud of you. I think I did the last time I did a 5K.
Brooke Swaddar on the line here. We got Brooke. Brooke joining us.
Good morning, guys.
What's up,
There she is.
How's it going?
There's Brooke Swaddar joining us. We got to do this, Marty. We got to bring her in with some. Yeah, we got to bring the applause to the table here today. So, Brooke Swaddar, Marty, we met Brooke a couple weeks back in the LinkedIn feeds with the John Kraske crew. Started messaging with her, communicating with her, and recognizing that Brooke has somewhat of a following. And the following I've nicknamed the Brookies. And like Taylor Swift has the Swifties and Drake has the Drakers and Eminem has the Stans, you know, I'm expecting today's show to be off the charts with all the Brookies following the show.
Aww.
Brooks, welcome for the show today.
Thank you so much. And I actually just wanted to say, Keith, I loved that the first time you and I connected, you took the time to make a 1 minute long custom video just saying, hey, and introducing yourself. That is the first time I've ever gotten that from somebody. And I thought that was so cool.
Well, you know what? In a world of AI generated stuff,
right?
Comments, and you don't know whether something's AI or not. I thought that I would just kind of step up to the table and just create a human generated response and say, hey, I'm real. I'm a human. This is what I do. Nice to meet you. And I'll tell you, I try to do it as much as I can with as many people as I can. Mm-hmm. And it's incredible to me, Brooke, how irregular it is for people to get video messages from folks.
Yeah. That's the only time I've ever gotten, at least on LinkedIn, that sort of reach out. But it caught my attention, definitely stood out to me. I was like, who is this guy? This is awesome. Yeah. I want to get to know him better.
But let's hang on this for a second. Is it not odd that, you know, we all carry these devices in our hands, we all have video cameras in our hands, yet, you know, we can't take less than a minute to quickly say, hey, I'm Keith, nice to meet you, Brooke, what's going on? Or hey, Marty, what's going on? We just always want to revert to a text message, yet the power of video time and time again is just exceptional. Why do you think that is, Brooke? Why we don't do it more often?
You know, I think especially since we're talking about LinkedIn as a platform, you know, I read some stats recently last week talking about how the majority of posts that we see on LinkedIn are only from such a small percentage of people. I think that there's like a really odd sort of deficit specifically on LinkedIn compared to other social media platforms. So I think even more so, how many of those posters aren't doing video content? So I think it's sometimes uncomfortable for people to film themselves and post. There's a sort of level of vulnerability to that. And I understand. I've never been like a social media person until I decided to get serious with LinkedIn 6 months ago. So I understand how kind of scary that is, but that's kind of a leap for a lot of people.
It's a skill.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead, Mark.
I was saying it's a skill. You know, it has to be developed. You got to practice it. So most people aren't taking time to do that. So I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah, it's true. I think what's surprising to me, though, Marty and Brooke, is that we're so quick to create content on Instagram, content on TikTok, content everywhere, and we shoot a video out to the masses unknowingly. Yet when I want to go send an introductory message to a new friend, we reluctantly just don't do it. Yet it would seem to be the natural way to break the ice.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think that that's a very creative and very human connection way to try and establish a relationship with somebody. Like I said, I loved it. I thought it was awesome, but I can understand that most people would be kind of uncomfortable doing that, especially if it's someone you've not spoken to before.
Yes, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. So let's get into this. Before we get into the accountability check and Marty get into the rest of the show, I want to take a few moments here and let's set up this question like we always like to set up with our guests. And this is the ticker starting on the bottom of the screen, which is boom, 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 boom. Who's Brooke Sweedar? How can we get Business Athlete Nation and LinkedIn Nation familiar with who Brooke is, and why should they care to keep listening to our conversation today, Brooke?
Yeah, what a great intro. Thanks so much, Keith. So yes, Brooke Sweedar here. I am transitioning into tech. I am brand new. I'm actually a boot camp student. I'm going to be graduating soon. It's been an awesome 6-month journey. So much learning has happened. Specifically interesting is I decided to get serious about networking on LinkedIn just a few months ago. I'd spent years not engaging on LinkedIn like at all, right? And so, but my following has grown pretty rapidly. I'm very thankful, but I've just been really public about sharing my journey. I have worked at a professional job for over a decade as a recruiter. So I have some extensive business acumen. I've worked with some of the largest manufacturing companies in the United States. And so I'm really excited to bring those soft skills that I've sort of collected over the years into technology, into software development. And it's been a lot of fun. I've been able to learn so much. And I'm really, really excited to enter the job market as a software engineer next month. It's going to be big.
You good over there, Keith?
Why did you make the change?
Oh,
yeah.
I wanted a big change for several reasons. I just felt like I'd sort of reached a cap with where I was at with recruiting. I didn't hate it or anything. I just wasn't feeling very passionate about what I was doing in particular. And I started learning to code on the side to actually improve some stuff with like our website and marketing letters. And I loved it. I was like, I genuinely wanted to spend my time doing that. So I decided to make the jump and join a boot camp for accountability, have someone hold my hand and give me some deadlines so I could, really hone my skills and get job market ready. That was my goal. And I've loved it. It's been phenomenal. And I will say to anyone in the audience, because I know a lot of my followers are people who are also breaking into tech, looking to get into tech, self-taught, don't have a CS degree. I certainly don't. And being public on social media about my journey has made a world of difference. If I hadn't done that, I think my enthusiasm for it would not be nearly as high as it is because of all the connections and relationships that I've formed with other real people already established in tech or doing the same thing as me. It's been huge. So I can't recommend that enough.
You know, we get caught up, Marty, with ages. Like, oh, you're too aged, you're too old to switch, you're too young to switch, you're too old to do something different. Yet you got up one day and you're like, I need to make a change. And you didn't look at your license, you didn't look at your passport, you didn't look at your birth certificate. You're like, no, I'm making a change.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? That's a really good point too, Keith. I think I'm 28 years old, just to set the tone for this. So, and everyone has different perspectives, but I've connected with people who are well into their 40s and 50s who've made transitions into tech successfully.
Yes.
I think sometimes we really can just limit ourselves, especially there are sometimes people who are put on pedestals who've reached great success, and that's wonderful, but it can be very easy to compare yourself and be like, oh, well, I'm not 30, right? Or I don't have this background. I don't have these specific skills. You don't have to be that person. You don't have to match that exactly, but you do have to do the work. You have to believe in yourself. You have to kind of take that chance sometimes, and that can be scary. But no one wins in the comparison game.
But you do have to put in the work, Marty. Question for Brooke before I throw over to the accountability check-in.
I agree. You definitely have to put the work in. So, Brooke, there are people who want to make the transition. They're hesitant. Can you tell them why they should make the change? Like, how would they benefit from jumping into tech? You know, and what's so great about it? We all know it's great, but can you give more of an explanation on that?
Sure. Well, one thing I do want to preface, like, I think sometimes when you think about tech, because it's the talk of the town in business, right? There's innovation, there's AI, there's businesses are implementing, so there's sort of like a sexiness to it. And the reality of learning how to code is not. It doesn't mean it's not like beautiful, and I appreciate it, but like it's not like in the movies, So I will say I don't think it's for everybody. If you're not comfortable sitting and looking at literally hundreds of lines of code for hours, it's probably not going to be your gig, and that's okay. But if that does interest you, I will say I think there's honestly never been a better time. There are so many free resources out there from unbelievably smart people. You can go on YouTube and learn a computer language if you're willing to put in the work and the time and the effort. You don't necessarily have to go get a 4-year degree from a university. You need a computer, you need internet access. And again, if you leverage platforms like LinkedIn and talk about your journey, I promise you, there are people who are unbelievably smart and very well established here who will offer to help you. That has happened to me time and time again, and I'm super thankful. But that also would not have come if I had not been posting in public about my journey in establishing those relationships. So I say go for it if it is something that interests you, because there's just so many ways to get there and so many different routes that you can take. Businesses, you don't have to work for big tech either. Not everything is just about, Google and Meta, right? I mean, companies need websites, they need software for healthcare industries to keep track of things, businesses with metrics. So it is everywhere. So I think it's very profitable if you're able to break in. There's a lot of different directions that you can go, and you can make a serious impact.
Awesome. Hanging out with Brooke Sweedar here this morning. Mornings in the lab. And hey, Marty, it's that time for old Uncle Keith to dance. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah. We're dancing this morning to the accountability check-in. It's that time we get you start to your day. You're thinking, what am I doing today? I know what you're doing. You're considering the difference between thriving and just maintaining the status quo. Brooke got up one day. She's like, status quo or thrive. And to do that, it's in the systems that you build. You got to focus on the processes, nation, not just the goals. Yesterday, I achieved a goal, but I knew that I had to put the processes in place to get that goal. Goals are absolutely important, as we're going to talk about here throughout the show today. But without a system, as Marty talks often, looking in your fridge, what you're going to choose, that's not a system. That's a random act of trying to be successful. Goals are important. Without systems, they are just wishes. Systems, nation, they create consistency. Brooke Swaddar is not having success today without a system. And she's going to talk about it in a few moments. Daily habits, you guys, they're going to trump those sporadic efforts. Marty did not have success as a D1 athlete by accident. He put daily habits into place to create that success. You know what happens, you guys? Consistency, Brooke. It builds momentum. That momentum, it drives success just by taking those small steps every day. So adapt, optimize continually, evaluate your systems regularly. Maybe you got a more list. Maybe you have a less list, but refine, improve, stay agile and ahead, because success in life and business, Brooke, Marty, it's not random. It's absolutely not random. It's entirely systematic. So that is your accountability check-in today, guys. You ain't gonna have any success. That's the word. You ain't gonna have any success without a system in place. Brooke, Marty, let's continue the discussion around systems, because I think, Brooke, you are not having any success without systems in place for you. So let's dive into today's conversation, Brooke Swaddar, about building systems for morning success, day success, life success. You know, Marty's not here because he just didn't achieve any success in high school and college because just it happened by accident. You're not here because of accident. Let's dig into the topic of the day, building business systems for morning success. Brooke, you started off.
Absolutely, Keith. Yeah. So that is so true, especially all the things that I have going on, all the things that I'm juggling. I've had to get very strict with my time management. I've had to adjust my habits, right? I've had to also work a bit harder at taking care of myself too, because I've been so busy. Like I have to make sure I'm not burning out. I still have my day job as a recruiter at this point. I'm still fully employed. So it's like after that, I've got boot camp class for 3.5 hours, right? And then I'm building out my projects, and then I'm networking. I'm spending time on LinkedIn. I'm trying to do all this stuff. I'm trying to make video content and to create and establish my brand. And I'm doing these awesome collabs like with people like you and See Marty Fit, which is awesome. So it's a lot. And I have to make sure that I'm not falling behind, right? That I'm not, because, you know, if I can't miss these appointments, I can't be late for these calls. That reflects poorly on me professionally. And that's unacceptable. I just can't allow that to happen. And so, so I've had to implement some serious, I call it time boxing. That's one of my biggest things that I've been implementing. So it's like, I only allocate a certain amount of time each day for specific tasks and no distractions, right? So like putting my devices on do not disturb during that period of time, setting alarms for everything just to keep myself flowing throughout the day has been essential and really helped me, because I'm human. You know, things will, if I don't sort of automate myself and make sure everything's in my calendar, I'm going to forget. I might be late. Something's going to happen because life happens, right? So 100% agree. You know, success does not come as an accident. It does take that work and that effort. But the best way to get there is to try and regulate and standardize that for yourself, whatever that's going to look like for you.
Marty.
No, I absolutely agree. You said one great thing about automation. We talked about that yesterday, Keith. You have to automate things. And one thing about systems, like look at anything that's successful. Boston Celtics just won the finals. They have a system, right? Mm-hmm. They have a rotation. They have certain defenses they do. They have certain offense you do. You don't just go out there and dribble a basketball and shoot and hope that the ball goes in and hopefully we win. There's a system. If you want to be fit, there's a system. You got to eat a certain way. Most people that are fit go to the gym at the same time every day, you know, on certain days of the week, right? So, no, systems are absolutely important. And I think a lot of people fail to be successful with the lack of systems. They try to wing it, right? What I say the other day, Keith, if you wing it, you're going to end up eating chicken wings. So you can't just be out here free for all, guessing, no plan. So the systems are absolutely essential to your success.
It's absolutely true. Hey, Brooke, I think we have you muted on the vertical stream. If you want to unmute yourself, that's awesome. That's great. And Nation, listen, truthfully and admittedly, we are building this plane as we fly. Not many people are doing live shows on LinkedIn these days, and we are building as we fly. So last week we discovered how we can do two streams, a vertical stream and a horizontal stream, natively to Instagram, natively to LinkedIn, natively to all the native platforms, vertical as well as horizontal. So apologies if we're still working some of the technical stuff out. We got Brooke unmuted on the vertical side. Thanks, Jimmy, for the heads up on that. We're continuing our discussion today around building business systems for morning success. And like Marty just said, if you're not planning, you're not going to have any success along the way. So, Brooke, let's break it down into tactics. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know you still had a recruiting job. I see how busy you are, like just with life on LinkedIn. And to know that you're actually finding time in your day to find people with their jobs, I'm like, whoa, dude.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, like you
I
are
love
going
it.
2-4, Brooke. So what kind of tactics and techniques do you use to have success? I got you muted over here now, Brooke. Yeah, we can't hear you on the horizontal though.
Okay,
I
can you hear me?
I
on
can
here?
hear. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Anywho, sorry about that. That was
All
totally
good.
on my end. I apologize. But anywho, so back to tactics. So yes, I do have my day job every day, Monday through Friday. But I, again, with the time boxing thing, so my main platform and outsourcing thing that I'm doing to build my presence and my brand is on LinkedIn. So time boxing for when I'm posting, engaging in the comments, I think is really important too, especially around that window when I'm posting. I think that's whenever the most conversation is going to be happening, and I want to be present for that. I don't like the concept of just posting and ghosting is what I call it. I know there are a lot of people out there who do just throw stuff out, and that's fine. You know, we're all busy. There's not a one size fits all formula for social media success, I don't think. So yeah, but I've just had to become really, really careful and really, really strict and mindful. And I will say, you asked me about screen time the other day, Keith.
Yeah.
And you were like, what do you do to limit your screen time? And right now I don't. This won't be forever. You know, me being in this boot camp transition, breaking into tech, working a full-time job, like I hope to always be busy, but not to the extreme level that I am right now. So I just have to have grace on myself and be like, I'm online all the time, chronically at this point. I love it. I'm having a good time, but I do not have systems for limiting that.
So you know what? I want to hang on this for a second because I have been reluctantly not bringing this up. Marty Fit. I might not rant, but I'm going to bring something up. So I love my screens.
Right.
I love being in front of the screen. Right. So to hell with all of you that want to judge me for being on the screen too much. Because I find that there's this judgment of too much screen, too much screen, too much. No, I like being online, actually. I love being online. I love connecting with people like C. Marty Fit and Brooke Sweedar. And you know how I do that? I do that on the screen. So to all of you who want to judge me that I get spend too much time in front of the screen, to hell with all of you, factually. And that's okay. You can judge me all you want. And we're all like, oh, kids and humans have too much screens. No, actually, we live in a world of screens. Screens are everywhere. So I'm going to be the guy who's going to lead the charge for lack of screen judgment. I'm not judging you, Brooke. If you're on the screen all the time, good for you. You're connecting with humans. I know that people are like, oh, you're going to wreck your eyes, wreck your brain. Well, you know what? I'm ancient. I grew up with screens. I grew up with my mom and dad saying, Keith, you're sitting too close to the TV. Now I'm putting screens 2 inches in front of my eyes so I can immerse myself in this virtual world. Brooke Swaddar, I love screens. So you know what? I'm not making any judgment with people who like to be on screens. There you go.
Sure. Well, you know, too, Keith, I think it's also important to consider how business has shifted, especially since COVID, and how much of it is driven online. I mean, these relationships that I'm building, especially with other people in tech, they're happening online. They're happening in Zoom calls, like, or in my DMs, you know, not just the public side, the public engagement, but this is how I'm facilitating relationships, and it would not happen. It absolutely would not be possible without social media, without all these tools to connect with people face to face, right? Like, I'm not going to fly out to Seattle and grab lunch with these people from Microsoft. I mean, I would love to one day, but that's just not like a practical way to do things on a day-to-day basis.
Screens allow us to be connected. And I think that's what we often get confused, right? We're so focused on the medium of how we're connecting when we're actually, the reality is, well, no, the screen enables a conversation for me. The screen allows me to connect with Marty. I'm close with Marty. I just met Marty, 6, 7 months ago. I connect with Marty all the time on a screen, and I'm connecting with Marty, and I love it. So screens to me are my connection piece. So I'm hopeful to start changing the narrative on this show that screens are okay. It's not about put the screen down, get off the screen, get off the internet. No, actually, I like being on the internet. I like being online. I love being online, frankly. So there's my POV on that, nation. There's my little soapbox rant. Hey, Marty, speaking of soapbox rants, at this point in the show, we like to talk about the fitness side of things. Are you ready, my friend, for our fitness accountability tip with C. Marty Fit? Because that's what this means. Oh, Marty. The energy, man. Jack up the energy. We got to get some fitness going on the side of things.
Hey, I'm loving it, man. I love the fitness tip. This is a great idea.
This is good. So this point of the show, we put Marty on center stage. We get you guys thinking about fitness, accountability, and how it's going to help you move yourself through your day today. So see Marty fit tip of the day. Over to you, pal.
All right, you guys ready?
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Build a system to up your fitness game. You ever find yourself stuck in your fitness game, not knowing what to do next? I get it. I've been there too. The answer is simple. Build a system. Systems create consistency. Consistency drives results. So what's consistency in fitness? Eating, right? You're always getting your protein in. You're eating the right carbs. You're eating the right veggies. You're hydrating consistently, right? And your workouts, a lot of times, especially if you're strength training, a lot of your workouts are going to look the same. So you're going to do squats every week, right? You're going to do some push every week, which is, it could be shoulder press, it could be chest press. You're going to do pull every week. Things are going to get consistent. It might get a little boring, but boring is good. Boring leads to results that leads to success, all right? So imagine this. You wake up every day with a plan. No more guessing, no more wasted time. Just clear, focus, action towards your goals. And even if it's repetitive, right, you got to stay with that focus action towards your goals. Systems help you stay accountable, track your progress, and you can adjust them as needed. So what kind of adjustments? I might need to drink more water. I might need to eat more protein. I might need to lift more weight. I might need to do more cardio. You can always make adjustments. You might need to make less cardio, drink less water, you know. I've seen it work wonders in my life and my clients' lives. So set your system today. You'll thank yourself tomorrow.
All right. There's our C. Marty fit tip of the day, guys. Get those systems in place. Those systems, you will not have success. Brooke Sweedar is not having success without systems. And the system she uses, it sounds like, is time boxing. And, Brooke, I want to dig into time boxing because I will admit myself, I have gotten better at it over time, which is this, every pun intended, which is this idea of just being super focused in a certain time of your day and saying, no, I'm only doing this during this time of the day. But Brooke, that takes an extreme amount of discipline. I've seen your office. I've seen the cats hanging out. Captain, is it Captain and William, is it?
Winston, yeah, Winston? Real close, but yeah.
Yeah, Captain and Winston. I've seen those screens on your desk, those 4 or 5 screens. You took that picture over the weekend. Mm-hmm. How do you take a box and how do you stay inside of it?
Right.
And you got all these distractions pulling you everywhere. You can sit here and talk about systems, but then you get into the real world and it's pulling you everywhere, Brooke. How do you do it?
Absolutely. So I want to point out too, being a woman, I have some slight, I'll call it distraction advantages. I'm single and I don't have children. So I'm just saying, like, I already am able to stick to a certain plan in ways that a lot of other women and just parents aren't able to. So I just want to preface that. I don't want to sit up here and be like, oh, it's just easy. Just do this. That's just not real life for a lot of people. But with my experience, I've had to, so for me, every evening I designate time to map out my next day. For me, my nighttime is like my map everything out. That way there are no surprises. Whenever I'm able to start my day the next day, I'm ready to go. I know what to expect. I've followed up. Like even last night with you, Keith, I was like, hey, I need the Streamlab links. Because I didn't want to be doing that at 6:55 a.m. and, scrambling. Like I have to deliver. I have to be on, right? So for me, I my notes section in my phone, it looks insane, but it's like my lifeline of just thoughts that come to me throughout. Yeah. Okay, great. I'm glad that's not just me. But as things come to me or little tips or, oh, hey, follow up with this person, I jot it down. And then in the evening time when I'm like unwinding, I'm done. I can look through that and then be like, okay, now I know I need to schedule this appointment. I have this call coming up tomorrow. And so, again, also my calendar is my best friend. I use Google Calendar because I can access it on my phone, my computer. I'm going to get email alerts about everything. So there's all different kinds of tools out there. That's just the one that works best for me to help keep me on track. I like it too, because if I have meetings scheduled, the other person can get an invite. They're getting a notification too. It just helps keep everyone, I can set alerts like to alert them 10 or 20 minutes before our engagement to make sure we're all on time and on the same page. The other thing too, like I'm doing a lot of collabs these days, and following up is very important to me. I want to make sure I'm respectful of other people's time. I do try and take on a very professional mindset with these engagements and take it very seriously. So taking the time to set those little incremental follow-ups, alerts, reminders at the end of the day prevents mistakes, keeps me on track. Like, so fill in the blank. Honestly, it just pays dividends, I think, and has really helped with my productivity. I think discipline has come up a little bit easy for me. I think that's just my personality type. I'm a perfectionist. I'm very type A. I like structure. I like charts, and organization and spreadsheets, and not everyone is like that. So, if you're not that way, you need to figure out how to adjust and adapt. I can only speak for what works for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Marty, do you time box?
What did you call it? Time box?
Yeah. Do you put like a task and keep it in a box? And so maybe if you're not familiar with this is great because some people won't be familiar with time boxing. Brooke, explain time boxing to Marty and everybody else that might not be familiar with it.
Sure. So it's just a term I've given it. I'm sure there's many other terms for it, but it's basically, so for instance, my day job, right? But with LinkedIn, so I'll set like 10 a.m. to 11:30, I'll allow myself to engage and keep an eye on LinkedIn. Like I have tabs open for that, for posting. I don't schedule my posts. Some people do, but I don't. I organically like to post because I like to engage in the comments. And so, then I've got like my 30 minutes for lunch. I work from home, so I go to my kitchen, right? And that'll be some other time for me to follow up with people too. But that's my 30 minutes of break from my other work. And then after that, like I've got, for me, boot camp class in the evening. So that's 3.5 hours of all my stuff being on do not disturb. I've got my Slack, Discord muted. I have to focus. I'm busy taking notes and coding and building projects to get a job, right? And then normally after that, I'll designate about an hour to socialize on LinkedIn again. I might do a second post for the day or follow up on comments, emails, that sort of thing. And I'm trying to get better at cutting it off after a certain time, like I talk about screen time, but that nighttime's a little bit less structured than my daytime because that's more of my free time, right?
Yeah.
I'm not working. So I'm able to just kind of be on my phone or sit on my computer at will. And sometimes I'll realize it's 1 a.m. and I'm like, okay, go to bed. We got to go to bed.
Yeah, but yeah, just, so to answer the question, I definitely time box. I have certain times I cut off my training from my clients. I'm like, look, I'm not training past this time. So if you get there late, that's on you.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I have certain times I record my content. I have certain times I post my content. So I definitely time box. I'm pretty strict with my time. And same thing with the evening. Like that's when I get my free time, I kind of end up staying up too late. Mm-hmm. And it's like now I get a boost of energy when I get free time. I've been tired all day and now I got all this energy when it's time to go to bed. I hate it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can relate to that too. And also I like how you talked about setting boundaries too, like with your clients and whatnot. I totally agree. I expect you to respect my time. I'm going through all these efforts to make sure I'm going to show up on time. I'm not going to be late. I'm going to deliver when I say I'm going to. So I expect you to do the same. And, I take that very seriously. So I think that is.
And you know what, too? A lot of people don't see what happens the night before.
Right.
So I can be there on time. I can be there with a certain amount of energy. I can be there to have your weights and your workout set up. You don't see what happens the night before, what I'm saying no to, what I'm cutting off, what I'm turning down, the sports I'm missing out on because I know I love my sports, know. So, but yeah, a lot of people don't see that. So definitely, I need you to respect my time.
People don't respect enough people's time.
I agree with that.
We just because you're unorganized, Brooke Swaddar, don't make me unorganized. And I'm just using you as an example, right? And it's like, just because you have missed a deadline, don't hold me back. And then you get upset because, well, Keith won't make some change. Keith won't accommodate my schedule. Well, actually, no, I'm ready. You're the one who's late, right? So, and that's a topic not discussed about. Marty, actually, let's put it on the board. I think we got to talk about this for mornings because we're here about creating accountability on the show and giving things for people to think about. And I don't think people respect enough other people's time. So this morning, nation, as you're starting your day, think about your schedule, right? And don't cancel a meeting 2 minutes before the meeting's supposed to start, right? Like, so if you're canceling 2 minutes before the meeting's supposed to start, you should have canceled it probably hours or days ago.
Yes.
right? It's
I
happening.
just had a discussion with a client yesterday. You can't cancel the session this late.
Right.
Because I could have got stuff done earlier, you know.
Sure.
So I'm making sure I'm at the gym at a certain time. I'm working out at a certain time, based on when you scheduled your session. So
Yes.
I get it, Keith. I get it.
Yes. I've had people cancel minutes before my live show. I had somebody cancel saying they lost their voice. I'm like, yeah.
Whoa, Keith, when we get off air, I don't want to do this to the person on air. Remind me to let you listen to this voice note I got. Somebody canceled on my podcast live in person, right? The day of the podcast. I gotta let you listen to. They're like, I got a cough.
Oh my god! I'm like,
hey, get out of here, man.
Yeah. Considering I saw the person on LinkedIn 2 days previous making a big complaining about losing their voice, and then 2 days later they told me they lost their voice. But anyways, so we'll leave that alone. We're talking business systems for morning success. And Brooke, you talked about time boxing, and I really want to stay here because I think this is an important tactic, strategic strategy that people can use to. And we're all about giving people nuggets to get through their day on this show. I'm going to offer something that is often not discussed also. We're so committed to being ready for Keith's meeting or Marty's meeting, so getting committed to our boot camp class. We're so committed to got to go to my lawyer meeting. We're so committed to looking at our calendar and scheduling everything for everybody else. Mm-hmm. Nation, I'm going to give you permission today. Schedule a nap for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Schedule an hour for yourself. Don't be embarrassed about it. Don't be shy about it. We're so quick to, oh my God, I got to meet with Marty today at 2:00. Oh, but I'm really tired. Well, then go for a nap. Nobody's going to judge you. But we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it enough. We don't talk about our calendars and saying, you know what? Yesterday, Marty, I went and laid down for an hour at 1:00 yesterday because I get up at 4:00 in the morning. I went down for an hour. I went and laid down for 45 minutes, my brain space, my quiet time, and I was okay with it. But nobody ever talks about it. We're always so focused on calendars, busy. No, go take a break. Go have a nap.
Yeah, no, I give myself an hour a day just to not even necessarily nap. I might just want to get on my phone. I might just want to watch a sports show, you know, listen to a podcast, read something, you know. But I always give myself an hour a day. But
we don't talk about it. We judge it. So if Brooke went on LinkedIn today and said, hey guys, I'm taking off for an hour to go have a nap, people would be like, what? You're taking a nap, Brooke? What do you mean you're taking a nap?
Yeah.
It's incredible. But yet it's like, hey, I got a big meeting with my lawyer today. Oh, hey, go for it. Look, Brooke, you're going to go and kill that meeting with your lawyer today. We place such importance on these exterior things, yet we always preach about taking care of self. Nobody cares about what that lawyer meeting was on our deathbed. No, Brooke took an hour nap because she needed that extra hour to get through her week.
Yes. Yeah, I really liked what C. Marty said earlier too, talking about like how people don't see what it takes, you know, to be able to bring that energy, to deliver that level of professionalism, you know, to engage fully. And you cannot do that if you're not at 100%. I really like to refer back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's like that basic pyramid in psychology where, you know, if your basic survival needs aren't met, nothing else matters, right? That's a bit extreme, but the principles still absolutely apply. If you aren't rested, if you aren't eating, staying hydrated, your body keeps count. You know what I'm saying? Like you may be able to go for a little bit, but it's not sustainable. It's also just not smart. You know, you have to rest. It truly is good for your brain. I think you have to consider it as an investment in yourself, in your business. Like if you want this success, if you want to reach these levels and these heights, that's awesome. You should put in the work, and it might require some sacrifice or compromise. That's understandable, but you have to always be asking yourself, at what cost? Like, what I'm sacrificing, right? Like for, especially like people who have families whose children are growing up, you know what I'm saying? How much of that are you missing out to get to where you want to go? And people have different priorities. I'm certainly not one to judge, but it's an important thing to consider and be actively thinking about as you're doing what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah. No judgment at all. I think for me, I want to encourage us to not just talk about mental health and talk about mental wellness. I want us to say that I'm going to put a post up today saying, yeah, I'm going for a nap today. See you guys in an hour. And everybody be okay with it. I worked in my last business was all virtual and remote. And you know, there's that stigma attached to it. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym right now. It's 2:00. Okay, good. Go for you. Go get it, man. Go get it. Oh, is it okay? Yeah. I'm gonna go for a nap now. Okay, go. Is it okay? Yeah. Like we're so quick to judge when we want to take care of ourselves, yet we're so quick to talk about mental health. So I'm really hoping to change the narrative around. Yeah, go for a nap. Go get off. Go and take your screen and stare at it and go scroll Instagram for a while if that's going to make you relax. Sure. Instead of somebody saying, Brooke, put that Instagram down because it's going to wreck your brain. You're thinking, no, actually, it actually helps me relax. So I want to go spend time on Instagram. It's just we got to flip the narrative, I think, a little bit, guys, and embrace some of these things. Hey, I see your comments on the vertical stream, guys. I'm getting better and getting used to what's coming up on both sides of my screen. Vinay, thanks for joining us here today. Bhupinder, Anil, we got Rob McCready. Brooke, Rob McCready is talking about the Pomodoro technique, which again is like time boxing, right? Which is that whole idea of taking blocks and embracing them and just getting them done. Rob, I appreciate that comment as well. And Brooke, in about 2 minutes, we're going to come up with our creator spotlight to shine light on that person that I know you are so eager to shine that light on here coming up in a couple of minutes. Marty, I saw you smiling when I talked about, Instagram and like, yeah, I like to be on my screen. What was your head thinking when I was saying, hey, because some people like to relax with their hand in their phone.
It wasn't necessarily about Instagram. It just made me think about the whole situation when we talk about the cold plunging. It's like cold plunge after. No, I don't. Yeah, I'll stretch or do some yoga, or I can do recovery. I can do foam roll. I'm not cold plunging. Nope. I'm good.
Nope. It's interesting. Nope. I think what you talk about there, Marty and Brooke, is that we're so quick to flock to follow. It takes courage to be an independent leader. It takes courage to say, no, I'm not going to go in that direction. It takes courage to be the blue fish in a sea of silverfish. I'm reminded of my little girl, Brookie, this weekend. Everybody was jumping in the pool, and she wanted to go, but she was scared. You know what I said to her? I said, well, it takes a lot of courage to not make the decision to jump in the pool, not to do what everybody else is doing. And she lit up because it was like, because now you're being the silverfish in a sea of blue. Yep. Just because everybody else wants you to jump, it takes a lot of courage to say, no, I'm not jumping.
Oh, for sure.
It sometimes takes more courage to say, no, I'm not jumping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That
to me is the message we want to give out here, guys. So, hey, listen, let's pause.
Drum roll.
That's the sound effect I'm going to introduce here for this part of the show. It's this part of the show where we like to surprise somebody. They have no idea what's happening right now. And neither do I, because I'm still figuring this out. But we are going to surprise somebody on the show right now for what we like to call our Creator Spotlight. Now, I reached out to Brooke a couple weeks back and said, hey, Brooke, you're going to be on the show. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, I would like you to nominate somebody on the Creator Spotlight that we could surprise. We could shine the light on, and I want you to tell me why. And she did. And I was like, oh, yeah, I like that. Let's do that. So she's like, I'm excited about introducing this fellow. So I said, okay. So in the vertical stream, I apologize on the vertical stream. It doesn't work as well because I'm still figuring that out. But on the horizontal stream, you guys are going to get the full treatment about what we're going to show you. So I'm going to do this properly, Marty. I'm going to shift us to the side. Like this here, and I'm going to do this there, and I'm going to take the good old screen and hit present and introduce everybody today to our Creator Spotlight, Mr. William Ray. He is today's Creator Spotlight live mornings in the lab with Keith C. Marty Fit and our guest host, Brooke Sweedar. Brooke, I reached out. You did not pause. I wasn't even finished writing the sentence to you saying, hey, who did you nominate? And you're like, Keith, software developer, executive deleter, ultimate awesome human being, U.S. Army veteran, looking for opportunities. He's got a YouTube channel, the Tech Dad 87. This guy commented on our screen a few moments ago saying, I like how it went from screens to being fit. Yes, William Ray. You're all about balance. Congratulations on being today's Creator Spotlight here, Mornings in the Lab with Keith C. Marty Fit. So, Brooke, why did you nominate William?
I'm so happy about this. Like, I literally can't stop smiling. Will, hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. But no, he's phenomenal. I connected with him early on in my journey. He's also a boot camp graduate, different boot camp but regardless. So I think we just really connected very well because we had similar stories of totally unrelated tech backgrounds breaking into tech. But he has been so kind, so supportive, not just with me, but with the whole online community, with people who are also in the same boat. And he posts a lot about mental health and just the realities of being a human being, which I think sometimes is not as prevalent, especially on like a professional platform. But he is brilliant. He's funny. He's a family man. He's a hard worker. He has an incredible work ethic. I love his YouTube channel. Like I said, it's The Tech Dad. Please give him a follow, a subscribe. Like, his production value is so high. He's so good at what he does. And so he and I are both working on breaking into tech together. And he's just been such a great motivator for me and an all around awesome human being. So he's made a huge impact on my own journey into tech, and I can't thank him enough. So he totally deserves this spotlight for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. William Ray, congratulations being named in our spotlight. And yesterday, Brooke, he made a post which I engaged with, which was, some days I want to lay down, Marty, and feel sorry for myself about not having a full-time job. And then he says to himself, those are the days I look for solutions more aggressively. Boom. That's a business athlete right there. Right. That's somebody who's like, nah, you know what? Yeah, I got stuff going on. I'm not laying down. I'm going to go get after it. And I love that message that he put up there, because that just tells me he's all about getting stuff done. So William Ray, you are featured today, Mornings in the Lab, Creator Spotlight. And William, Brooke also wanted to make sure that we put out the old YouTube channel. So nation, go check out William's YouTube channel, The Tech Dad 87. You'll go find some great content. I checked it out myself last night. Cool stuff, William. Great stuff. Keep it going, my friend. And that's awesome. I love this part of the show as well. Today's Creator Spotlight here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith. See Marty Fit and Brooke Sweedar. So I want to do this. We're on our way towards wrapping it up, but we had some technical challenges at the beginning around when I asked the question, who is Brooke Swaddar? So why don't we revisit that so we can get some stuff on tape? Right?
Okay.
Yeah, so we can revisit that and get some stuff on tape so that we can reuse it later. So those that perhaps are tuning in a little bit later, they can revisit this with us. But I want to go back to that question, Brooke. Who is Brooke Swaddar? Why are you here? What got you started? And when I look at you on LinkedIn and your whole life, you got a lot going on. So rephrasing the question, who is Brooke Swaddar?
Yes, I am, again, sorry about the technical difficulties, but I am a boot camp student. I have worked for over a decade as an executive recruiter in the manufacturing space. So I have a pretty extensive experience working with some of the largest manufacturing companies in the US, even some international. So I've got a lot of business acumen, and I'm excited about transitioning and using those skills as I'm entering tech. I feel like I have a lot of that side to bring to the table and a strong business mindset, which I do think is a competitive advantage. And so I'm graduating my boot camp very soon, early next month. I'm so excited, and it's been an awesome journey. I have faced some unbelievable growth on LinkedIn. It's been really organic. I have not followed any specific formula. I'm just very grateful. I'm having a good time, but I'm also being very authentic about my journey. And I'm not afraid to ask questions and admit that I'm a beginner in tech. I'm here to learn and connect with others. So I've had some amazing collab opportunities come from that. And I mentioned earlier, like, if anyone is considering breaking into tech or looking into it, I'd love to connect with you guys. So send me a message. I love those conversations too. But you're not alone. There's so many resources available, especially if you're willing to be vulnerable and put yourself out there. I cannot recommend it enough. I'm an introvert. It was very scary for me to start posting and sharing, and especially videos. Like, I honestly never thought I would end up doing stuff like this. It has been so worth it and so incredible.
Introvert, eh?
Yes. I really am. Like, my social battery it's this big, Keith. Like, I'm going to need to recover all day after this.
Me too. I'm the same way.
Seriously. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So this is absolutely a discussion that we're going to bring back. And Brooke, I'm going to ask you to come back for this, because I am too. I'm an introvert. People are like, huh? You're an introvert? I'm like, yeah.
Right.
When I have these kind of conversations, I need to deflate for a while. And as I've gotten to know Marty, I know Marty is like, I don't know what it is when you get in front of the camera and the microphone, you get to come out. But when you get into a large space of people, you'll find me in the corner, just hanging out by myself or with a small group of people, not out there kissing babies and shaking hands. And I'm thinking the same way with yourself. See, Marty, the same with yourself, right, Brooke?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. And you know what? I think there's some common misconceptions. I know we're wrapping up, but about being an introvert, that means like you're awkward, and that's not necessarily true. I think I have very strong people skills, but I need to recharge, and I very much value my alone time.
Yes. Nation, we're going to start wrapping it up here over the next minute. I want to thank everybody for joining today. I know we had a couple technical difficulties at the beginning. Exactly, because we are learning how to fly the plane as we build it, but that is okay. Rob, Ryan, Vinay, William, who else do we have joining us? Sarvina, Anil, Vinay, Jamie. We had a lot of great folks joining. Woodhams, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for joining us today as well. We had a lot of great folks joining us today on the show. I appreciate everybody's participation. Marty, as we wrap up, my friend, what do you got going on today? And Brooke, I'm going to throw the last word to you. But Marty, over to you, my friend. What did you think of today's show, and what do you got going on today, my friend?
Probably be talking to you, work on some content. Done with clients for the day. Most of my clients are off of work today. It's gonna be a chill day for me. I get my workout in. That's about it.
Good for you.
Good for you, man. And of course, Keach is off with Juneteenth today. We missed Keach. He was going to join us today. Chris Keach will be here tomorrow for a conversation around how to be an athlete for life. So whether you're 40, 50, 60, Marty's an athlete. Chris is an athlete. I'm an athlete. We're all business athletes. William Ray's an athlete. Brooke's a business athlete. But what does that mean? We're going to talk about it more tomorrow. But Brooke Swaddar, how was your first appearance in the lab today? And what do you got going on for the rest of your day today?
It was awesome. I'm so honored that you guys invited me to be on the show. I sincerely appreciated it. I've had a blast. And for me, I got to go to work. I got to finish my recruiter day job. And then I'm working on it's called a capstone project for my boot camp. It's like the big final culmination, and I'm actually due to present that tomorrow. So I'm going to be working probably late into the night, cranking out that code.
What's fascinating to me, Brooke, is that now that I know how busy you are today,
yeah,
Marty, I'm going to see Brooke's comments and content on LinkedIn, and I'm going to think, where's she fitting this into like her day here? Like, where's this getting into the time box? So Brooke, you're in the wrong box right now.
I'm doing my best, Keith.
You're doing your best. Brooke, thanks for joining us today. I had a blast with you. We always say this, once a guest, always a friend. So we want to have you back. You come back, join the conversation. Myself, C. Marty Fitt, Chris Keach, all the friends like to join us here in the lab. And Nation, we go live Monday to Friday right here on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, Instagram, every social platform we can find that has a streaming platform. Keith and C. Marty are out on it. 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern time. You'll find us with topics like this. Tomorrow, we're talking about being an athlete for life. Friday's topic, tentatively right now, Nation, is about skincare, the biggest organ we have. I've had a few people knock on our door looking to talk about that with us as well. So you guys have a good one. We're going to get out of here. Brooke's got to get to work. I got to go to work, and so does C. Marty. Have a good one, Nation. We'll see you guys tomorrow.